I teach my kids because I went through some of the similar things. But today's day and age of kids, they don't really have respect for the adults the way that we had respect for the adults. And you can see it in a lot of their and you can see it in a lot of their upbringings because their parents didn't have that guidance. I can honestly say I'm blessed to have the mother that I have. I was blessed to have the father that I had because there are so many times that, I mean, I can still go to my mom and say these things, but there are so many times that I wish I can just go to my dad and say, thank you. You were right. And that goes back to that obedience thing where honor thy father and thy mother and our days will be long. Some of us are totally disobedient. We don't like authority figures telling us what to do. We don't like anyone giving us any type of advice. Although we go and ask for this advice, we don't like taking the constructive criticism because you have people that they've been spoon-fed and sugar-coated stuff for so long that when someone comes and gives them something that's actually filling to them, they don't know how to take it because we've been spoon-fed. They've been given these artificial sweeteners for so long that they don't even know what real sugar tastes like. That's why when it comes down, I'm very humble now. And it's something that I'm learning as I go along. Because like I said, I'm not a perfect person. I'm not a perfect man. And it took me damn near almost losing everything. That included losing my wife. That included almost losing my kids. That almost included losing myself in order for me to understand where I was going wrong with myself. Where I was harboring a lot of anger from things that happened in my past, where I was harboring a lot of hurt from things that happened in my past. So everybody that I came in contact with was actually getting a piece of that anger. Everybody that I came in contact was getting a piece of that hurt, because if I hurt, everybody else is gonna hurt. If I felt this anger, they were gonna feel it. And no, was it right? No. And it sucks because I didn't want to refocus on what mattered most to me. I didn't want to get rid of the extra baggage because I had been used to it so long. It's hard. And I'm gonna be honest with you. It's hard trying to get rid of that extra baggage that you really don't want to get rid of. It's hard because you're used to it for so long. You're used to not doing something a certain way. Like, don't get me wrong, I grew up in the church. Do I go to church every day? Do I go to church every Sunday? Am I in church when like I'm supposed to? No. But my thing with that is I felt like with the churches that I was going to, it was more so on who was most popular and who brought in the most money, or what are your talents that are beneficial to the church, more so than, hey, I'm going to help you, or hey, I'm going to steer you in the right direction so you know what to do in life, or how to fight this spiritual warfare that you're going through. And it deterred me away from the church for a long time, until I got at the church where I'm at now, which is the Church of the Highlands. And my sister introduced me to this church. And I would hear her talk about the different things that they were doing in the community, and I was actually seeing some of the things that they were actually doing out in the community where I lived at, where they would come in and they would come in and go out and cut people's grass. They are actually helping my mom find contractors to remodel her house after the fire that she had in her house. Hey, Brisky. I absolutely love this church because they do things with no hesitation, because they want to serve God and they want to be able to serve people. And I absolutely love this church. When I tell you, it is not a traditional church that I've normally been to, where you walk in and the people are doing all this hooping and shouting and all. No, it's nothing like that. They give you the word and they break it down to where you understand it. They teach you just as well as they're preaching to you. My kids love going to Highlands Kids because they're getting the word at a level that they understand. And my niece loved it yesterday because she was in service with me, that she understood what was going on. It wasn't a person jumping up and down all across the stage, or people falling out all over the floor. No, and don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking any of the churches that do that. But sometimes I feel like there should be some type of a balance. There should be some type of a balance to where everybody's not going to understand what you're talking about, so you have to break it down into terms that they will. That's your duty as our spiritual leader. As a person that leads a flock, you're supposed to do that. But a lot of people, and I mean a lot of pastors, get into that groove to where it's more so, oh, I'm going to do it this way, and I don't really care who gets it or not, but this is the way I'm going to do it. And don't get me wrong, I know I have a calling in my life, because there were so many times I could have been taken out of here, but God didn't allow it. As I said, there are things that I'm still working on now that I'm trying to let go. That hurt that I'm trying to let go. Just giving you guys a heads up, I am going to be starting a small group after I go through the training that I'm supposed to be going through. And it's going to be on podcasting. So I am going to start, excuse me, I am going to start a podcast for the Church of the Highlands. So I'm going to be doing this one, and I'm going to be doing the one for Church of the Highlands. That one's going to be more geared towards spiritual things that we deal with every day. Just as this one, just as I'm doing this one now. But I'm going to have a group of people with me that are going to, discuss that topic. Other people that probably want to do podcasting, but they just don't understand how to get into doing it. I need people to understand that in the scripture I'm going to get ready to come from, I'm not going to read the scripture, I'm just going to give you the book that I'm coming from. It's Romans 10 and 9. And the thing that I got from that is there's power in an apology. Some people don't understand by going and apologizing to a person how that actually lifts a lot of weight off of your shoulders. How it gives certain people closure to what was going on. No, going into and I'm gonna give you the difference between an actual sincere apology and one of those apologies just because this is what they want. Go in and own like I said at the beginning. Go in and own what you did. Go in and own it. Hey, I apologize. I did wrong by you. I messed up. I shouldn't have done that. Will you please forgive me? Not this, oh well, I apologize, but you shouldn't have done this and you should. That's not a real apology. Or, I'm sorry, but the only reason I did that, that's not a real apology. Because it's not sincere. It's not heartfelt. Because you're still trying to place blame and give justification on why you did what you did. Why you decided to revert to, why you decided to, do those actions. And we as a people, we need to understand that forgiveness is a very big thing. Forgiveness is a very big thing. But the thing is, you can't truly forgive someone for doing something until you forgive yourself. A lot of people feel like when a person goes out here and they cheat on them or they do whatever, oh, it's my fault, I did this. But the thing is, we all have to hold ourselves accountable for the actions of a destructive relationship, friendship, or anything. We have to sit back and really sit back and look at ourselves in the mirror and actually say, okay, I need to work on this. This is what I need to work on. If we're not working on, how do you expect for anything to go correctly in any other type of relationship when you can't even get it right with yourself? How do you expect for another person to forgive you when you can't forgive another person? When you can't take responsibility for your own actions, but you expect for someone else to take responsibility for theirs. How is that any different from what you're doing? That's called being a hypocrite. And you have so many people that are that's exactly how they are. Oh, they expect for people to treat them a certain way. They expect for people to treat them a certain way, but they have the Ray Charles Ray-Bans or the horse blinders on to everything that they do. Everything that they do. That's not holding yourself accountable, and you're still in denial. The first thing, and this is something I've always heard, the first step to recovery is admitting that you have a problem. The second step would be identifying those problems, identifying all the problems that you have. Step 3 is figuring out the solution on how to fix these problems. If all we do is